started my channel back in 2020, around August of 2020. Really the last of August, I think, is when I started it, around 2020, which really turned out to be not a very good time for starting a YouTube fishing channel. It turns out that, you know, fishing is seasonal. There's a seasonality to fishing. And one of the things that happens is, even with the bigger creators, and I guess really this affects them more because it's affecting their money, but for most fishing channels, in the spring is your basic peak. You know, March, April, May, into June is your basic peak in your the number of views and the number of subscribers you normally get, and probably the amount of money you make, you know, per 1,000 views goes up as well. So you're making more money per view and you're getting more views. So it's a big peak around that period of time. So most fishing channels will sort of, you know, that's when they're going to be hitting it the hardest, is during that period of time, trying to put out as many videos as they can. But like I said, I started my channel right around the end of August, which is about the worst time, because what happens is, as you move through the summer, that seasonal effect kicks in, and fishing channels start to lose their views sometime in July. And August it starts tapering off, and then September gets there and their views can really start to tank. So what kind of happens is, you're competing with football for one. You know, you got people, they're ending their summer activities, they're going back to school, so fall activities have kicked in. You've got football, you've got actually baseball coming up to the World Series in the fall. A lot of things going on that suddenly kind of competes with fishing, you know, from a YouTube point of view, from their relationship with Google and how people search and how things are trending. It's natural that that time of year they start to give less emphasis to fishing channels. And summertime related activities, I'm sure everything drops off probably. Here's another little batch of trillium right here. Oof, I don't fall down. Looks like this little batch is just getting started right here. Now if the trillium could see, they would see me looking at them like that. Let's turn this little booger around here. And there they are. Beautiful little batch of trillium. Little boogers coming up there. My goodness, look at that. I just love those trilliums, and I cannot remember exactly what they are called. But anyways, we'll find some more here. It's just like I said, it's early March, so it's just the beginning of the wildflower season. Here's a couple more. So this little section of the ground here, it's going to be littered with them. That's kind of a pretty little scene right there. For reference, that's how big those trillium are. I don't know if you can tell in the footage, but I thought I'd put my hand in there. These are not real big, but they will get bigger. They get a lot bigger than that. So anyways, I did start my channel at the wrong time, and it didn't take off very well at all. I couldn't get any views. It was pretty bad. Of course, my videos were terrible. They were horrible, basically. So you know, they probably weren't going to do very well anyways, but I think they probably would have done better had I started my channel, say, in March or April. I think I'd had a better chance, because if you think about it, if the big channels are not getting any views and their views are falling off and they're not making as much money, then YouTube's surely not going to give that many views to a new, upcoming, small, unproven channel. You're just going to kind of be out in the dark no matter how good a video you put out, really, in some ways, you know, unless you find a little niche to help get you in the door, which is an interesting little topic. As far as how to get more views, and you know, you think you're doing things right or you think you're doing things wrong, and you really don't even know why you're getting views or why you're not getting views. And sometimes you do stumble into things sometimes. I started off doing catfishing videos. I got me a little boat, headed out to the lake, started doing videos, and like I said, they didn't do any good. Didn't do any good at all. Just terrible, terrible, terrible. So eventually I started doing a few videos from the bank, and I got on some crappie. So I thought, well, let me put out a crappie fishing video. And man, the amount of views I got on that crappie fishing video was like crazy. Suddenly it's like, wow, what am I doing right or what am I doing wrong? And you know, you want to think, oh, now I'm doing something right, and now I'm getting some recognition for you know, putting out a better video. But the reality is that it really wasn't that. It was more one of those things where there was a little gap in the contents. In other words, there was like a little sliver of the door that opens up in the fall and through the winter for crappie fishing, where there's not as many people putting out crappie fishing videos as there are people looking at crappie fishing videos. And it's just a little glitch right there. And I've seen quite a few really channels kind of, I think, build their crappie fishing channels, kind of build their whole channel around that little peak right there to get them started. I mean, it, you know, it was like night and day for my channel, you know, for me to put out a little crappie fishing video that didn't seem like it was really all that great, and it got so many more views than the catfishing video. It's like, well, this is a no-brainer. Why would I want to go out in my boat and risk life and limb out there chasing a big stinky catfish when I can just go out for 2 or 3 hours in the afternoon and fish off of the bank and catch these nice crappie and get 10 times the views and possibly, you know, get to where you want to go a lot faster with subscribers and views. And that's what happened. I got a lot more view hours and a lot more subscribers. But the problem is that you get back to that seasonal aspect. Remember talking about that seasonal aspect? So what happens is, as you move through winter, that little crappie peak, basically it starts to happen, I think, around November. If you put out a crappie fishing video starting in November, you can see that you will get results as a new YouTuber. Now, I don't know about established channels whether they would see any effects, since they're already getting a fair number of views. But for a small channel, if you're not getting any views whatsoever, as a tip, come November, December, January, February, focus on the crappie content and you'll see a big increase in views, for what that's worth. But as you move back into spring, expect it to maybe drop off unless you can really keep the crappie content coming. You know, if you can get yourself established and get your channel moving and keep it going. My problem was that I couldn't keep the crappie coming in. You know, once spring got here and our water goes back up on the lake that I fished, the water goes back up, comes back up to summer, towards what they call summer pool level. And when that happens, it limits your bank access. You just have limited options as far as what you can do on the bank. So it starts to, you know, and I've seen other channels around here the same thing. They're hitting it hard with the crappie, doing good, the views are up, and it's like, man, just like what we've experienced right now, when the weather goes south and the water gets muddy, and then it suddenly starts coming back up, it's like it can really screw your fishing up right there. And if you ain't putting out the videos, you're not really getting the views. But you just have to try to keep it going as best as you can through the spring. So as I was saying, what happened with me was, as I was going along, you know, I couldn't put out as many videos at a certain point, so you start to fall behind. You start to lose the love of the YouTube algorithm. And I never could really regain that momentum as I moved into spring, which I kind of equate to the fact that what's going on is now you're approaching that peak period for the established YouTubers. In other words, those big channels, big fishing channels that make some money, you know, and get a lot of views and subscribers. It's their peak time. So YouTube is not going to pull away from that, because advertisers that are in the outdoor industry and all that, that's when they're throwing their dollars at that's their peak time to spend money. And that's why that peak is theirs, because those advertisers are spending a lot more money that time of year to get their products up in front of people who are getting ready to go out into the great outdoors and spend their summer spending money, going here, going there, buying this, buying that. So I'll put it back there for right now. Ew, I got nasty juice all over my fingers, man. So anyways, that first year, as I moved past that little, what I call the Crappie peak in the winter time, it got more difficult, you know. I think I tried to maybe do some catfishing videos and stuff, but YouTube never really gave me any love with the catfishing videos. So anyways, that first year I made it through the summer and whatnot, and had gained quite a few views during that crappie peak and a fair amount of watch hours during that crappie peak. Not that many subscribers, really. Struggled with those subscribers, boy. They didn't come easy. And as I moved back around through that summer towards that fall, I started catching fish again, so I was able to put out more videos. I started getting into the white bass a lot, and I had several really good kind of combination white bass, skipjack type videos, also catching like some smallmouth, maybe a few little odd, you know, different things here and there. But it was good consistent action through like September, October, and I was pretty happy with that. Even though I didn't get a huge number of views, I got a fair number, so that was okay. So as we started moving out of that fall, that white bass action comes to an end around November. It gets a little chilly, and them white bass skedaddle. The skipjack get a little more difficult to catch. But the good thing is the crappie start to get easy to catch that time of year. So I started focusing back on the crappie, and same thing happened again. The views skyrocketed. I really got a lot of views compared to what I was getting before. And so I rode that little wave through November, December, January, and February, and got a lot of views. Got up there real close to 4,000 watch hours, but the subscriber count just wasn't there. You know, it's hard to get people to subscribe. So I kept thinking, well, the next season that comes around, you know, I almost got the 4,000 watch hours, so I'll be ready for that, and then I'll just need to get you know, some more subscribers. So anyways, the same thing happened again as we moved into spring. The, you know, crappie fishing tapered off for me, and I couldn't really get them videos out. Them thar videos, I couldn't get them out. So but I had those watch hours built up, hanging there around just under 4,000. But as we come back around through the summer, I didn't really get that much love going with the white bass this past season, which would be this past season that I'm talking about now. I was real disappointed with that. I mean, I got on some a little bit, but I never could get a real good pattern going with those white bass. It just didn't materialize for some reason. So then as we get into the crappie this season, which was the tail end of last year, I got onto a few initially, and it looked promising, and it looks like things were going to do okay. But then things started kind of going against me as far as the weather. It got cold early. There were some other things going on that kind of made it difficult to get out there and fish. So I didn't get as many videos as I'd hoped for, and that hurt. I needed those videos, the long form videos. But in the meantime, what happened was towards the end of the summer, I started playing around with the shorts a little bit. So I kind of stumbled on something with the shorts where I could get a lot of views. YouTube was really liberal with their views at that period of time. You know, shorts were up and coming. They were pretty new, and YouTube needed people to put up shorts so they could test their algorithm, tweak their algorithm, and they needed data. And that meant they were liberally doling out views. I mean, you didn't have to put out that great of a video to get thousands of views on a short, and with thousands of views come subscribers. So I hit on a pattern of shorts where I could get thousands of views and a fair number of subscribers, and real quickly I hit that 1,000 subscriber mark sometime in November, December, something like that. But that was only thanks to the YouTube Shorts. And unfortunately, with the YouTube Shorts, they don't let you count those watch hours from the YouTube Shorts towards your ultimate monetization, which is that 4,000 watch hours. So unfortunately, as we move through this last period, I lost all those watch hours from the previous year. You get 365 days. The 4,000 hours have to be over a period of 365 days. So as you roll back around, as we roll back around, see, the previous year I had a lot of views, a lot of watch hours. So we roll back around past that 365 day mark, and you lose those watch hours. So as part of that requirement to become monetized, you need those 4,000 watch hours within a 365 day period of time. So I suddenly started losing all those watch hours, and there's really not much I could do because I wasn't making up for them as I lost the watch hours from the previous year. Even though I'd got over the 1,000 subscribers and I was within just a few hundred hours of being monetized, I had to sit there and watch those hours slip by. So as I lost those watch hours, like I said, there was not much I could do. You know, put up a few crappie videos, and I got a few views, but I really didn't get enough videos up there to get the number of views and watch hours that I needed. So I'm still struggling with that. At least I got the 1,000 subscribers, and eventually, you know, I'll hit that 4,000 watch hour mark, but I'm just going to have to start putting out videos and not let up on it is the main thing. You know, I think that's the thing. Even if I'm only getting a few hundred views per video, you know, as long as I'm putting something out, I'll be adding hours back, and ultimately get to that point to where I can get my channel monetized. So we'll see what happens with that.